You might spill that. I don't know if you're going to make it. Don't get it on my dress.
There, one dirty vodka martini.
I'll take it.
So there we go. So this is the way most martinis reach us. Not a great presentation, but martini glasses are shaped wrong. They're conducive to spilling, sloshing. You can only carry one at a time, really, and a tray really doesn't help that much. But it begs the question: is there a better way to transport and present a $15 martini? And here are 3 dirty vodka martinis. So it would be a little bit nicer if I was a good-looking server instead of a middle-aged engineer, but this is what we have to work with. But I'm sure you can appreciate the second presentation better than the first. My name's Jeff Kinney. This is my product. It's called Martini Mover, and they belong in high-volume bars and venues and restaurants. I applied for a patent last year. It should be placing sometime this year. My goal is to license a patent. I don't want to be the manufacturer. So spillage and getting things there quickly is a good first step. But this year at the Golden Globe Awards, Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg and Meryl Streep are sitting at the same table, and Spielberg goes, "Hey, Hanks, why don't you go get us some martinis?" So Hanks jumps up. Of course, here he is, wants to bring the drinks to his boss real quickly. So there's his 3 drinks. But look at poor Tom here. Look how nervous and uptight he is. He's never been that nervous and uptight. And I say that, and I know that because the very next day he's on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and he says, "Never been more nervous in my life." So poor Tom, if he had Martini Mover, he could have picked up 3, carried them across the audience there, brought him to his buddy, and be calm, cool, and collected. Now, that's the 6 up. That's what we call the 3 up. But also, Tom could have. Here's my shout out to Ellen. Tom could have picked up 3, picked up 6, and then gone over to the next table and delivered 3 and delivered 6. So basically, spillage is a problem when bars are analyzed for where their inventory is going to, where the missing inventory is. Spillage is always at the top of the list. So that really is something that needs to be looked at. So the basic general attributes, it gets it there quicker, gets it to the customer swiftly, and what's nicer than getting your drink delivered to you still sparkling from the shaker of the bartender. So it reduces spillage and remaking drinks. So if you're remaking a drink here because you spilled, well, you could be missing a whole round of drinks over here. So at the end of the week, end of the month, that adds up. That really is something you need to be looking at. Presents with pizzazz, and it's nice, it's lit up, it's cool looking, it's fun to see your drink coming, and attract. Now who? I forgot to mention that Ellen chimes in. So she goes, "Yeah, I've worked at bars before. I've delivered a lot of martinis. It's horrible. They have to have design change there somewhere." Basically, describing the product. But who here, like Ellen, has ever worked in a bar or restaurant, put some time there? Oh, someone give me a shout out. Yeah, okay. Well, and thank you for your service, by the way. So, you probably have your own version of what I call the strawberry daiquiri effect. So if you send a strawberry daiquiri over into this corner of the bar early in the evening, all night long, you're going to be sending strawberry daiquiris over into that quadrant. So, people don't really know what to order. So, "Excuse me, sir, you ready to order?" "Yeah, what were those blue drinks that came by here?" "Oh, the blue drinks? Well, that's Blue Martini Special. They're on special till 6 o'clock, something like that. So then you can advertise your brand specials. Actually, here's another kind of light up sign. But you can, if you have a Blue Martini Special here, they're pushing another drink, ABC vodka, those easily switch these around, and it can advertise your drinks. Swap these out, and backwards. Your company logo. So that real nice, gets things going, push things you want to push. So basically, if it's a rule of thumb, if you produce 10 times of what you're producing, your selling price and your production costs go down by about 50%, and it pretty much follows that structure. So that is my product. I appreciate your time, and hopefully with your help next year, Tom Hanks will be at the Golden Globes with the Martini Mover, and it'll be on the Ellen Show the next day saying what a great product it is. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for your presentation. I told Jeff that we rarely do have any true tangible consumer products here. It's quite different for our chapter. Most of the companies here are very tech focused, very services focused. So we appreciate him being here, and we also appreciate once again your support of 1 Million Cups Addison
Great.
as well.
I appreciate being here.
So Matt's not here today. I'm going to do Q&A as I used to do anyway, and I always like to dig in on the business side. So I'm going to start off with just a few questions that I have, and we'll turn it over to the audience, and
Great.
then I'll come back to you for a couple of things. So I think the first thing that I'd like to know is, how did you come up with this? Were you in the bar and restaurant industry, or did you have
No,
drinks
well,
spilled on you?
I was in the bar and restaurant industry as a customer, yes. And I just, that's where my mind goes. Like, and literally, the server was tiptoeing across, and she was carrying one martini, and it, I thought, well, surely there's a better way. It begs the question, surely there's a better way. That pretty much is exactly what and my background's in manufacturing, so the concept of kind of reaching around, picking up product like that, I mean, I've seen it, done it, and that's where my mind went, and I think it'd be a good market for it.
Are you piloting with any of the local restaurants here to get some feedback?
Yes, I have 2 beta sites. They're using them, and I'm getting some feedback. Hopefully, no design changes. I mean, which can be done, but yeah, I'm getting feedback, seeing how they use them, when they use them, how the server needs to be trained, things like that. So yeah, 2 beta sites. I have product for 10 sets, 3 up and 6 up, and so I made 10 sets, and I have 8 available.
And then my next question would be, on the numbers that you showed, you said that those were good rule of thumb numbers, right? So I'd like to know, is that a representation of your numbers? And if not, what kind of margins do you see? Like, how are you manufacturing? What's the cost? Like, what's the true business opportunity?
It's so, manufacturing a hard product is so volume dependent. It's changed a little bit in that injection mold has become a lot more affordable, less costly. But yeah, they're your own numbers. I mean, if you produce, every time you produce them by 10 more, or 10 times 10, I mean, the volume just goes, it's so volume dependent. Okay. So, I mean, it's classic chicken or the egg scenario. My pockets aren't deep enough to launch it, high volume. And, that's really the only place you can turn a profit is, in the higher volumes, right?
I understand. Thank you.
Sure.
Well, let's turn it over to the audience. I'm sure I'll have some more questions, but I want to make sure everybody else gets their questions answered too. So, okay.
Thank you for the presentation. I always hated carrying them damn things, so even if it was 1 or 2. So this goes back to the business opportunity. So do you know the projected just volume of martinis kind of served nationally or kind of within stores? And then the second part of my question too is that are there any other usages, like use cases for just carrying in general? Because I know when I carried, if I had to carry more than just 4 cups to a table or trays to a table or so, I know you're looking to patent this. So if there's other use cases, I'm just curious if just carrying in general apply
Well,
to any of those?
it does work. It is called Martini Mover, but it does work. I've tightened up the holes, so I want to make sure it fits. It fit margaritas, which it does, but I tightened up the hole a little bit, and so most wine glasses will fit in there too. So, but wine glasses aren't really that much of a problem. And craft beer, for example, you go to any craft beer website and you see the beers sloshing. The first screen is the beer sloshing all over the place. Hey, half the fun of having beer is spilling it. Well, it's hard to push a product that guarantees you won't spill the product if half the fun is spilling the product. So, it is Martini Mover, and the hope was that is generic enough that people will be interested in it, use it, buy it for the martinis, but then also realize that they can use it for almost all cocktails and margaritas and wine.
Why is the martini glass shaped that way?
I don't know that. I think just good question. I should have that. I should have a little piece of trivia handy. In Prohibition, cocktails are a U.S. invention. It's just because we made so much rot gut drinks during alcohol during the Prohibition that you had to sweeten up with something. Martinis. Cocktails you don't get in Europe. It's a U.S. concept.
Well, I'm a big Shark Tank fan, and I'm not a big wine drinker, but I know that there's that one company that became like a multi-billion-dollar company just because they had this very disruptor idea of changing the wine glass shape. They have that stackable wine glass. You can get them at, like some restaurants have them. They have them at Market Street, and they're plastic, and you know which ones I'm talking about, right?
No, I haven't seen it. Sorry.
Well, I was just curious to know. It's like, if you're looking for ideas to disrupt the industry, why don't we change the shape of the martini glass? Have you considered that?
Then I wouldn't have my product, but
hey, great presentation. So just to echo what he says, Martini Mover seems to be like super niche.
Yep.
Versus like trying to replace the tray. So the tray is like an issue. To me, it seems like a bigger issue. I'm not in bars a lot, but it seems like that's a really old piece of equipment that has lots of issues. And if you could replace the tray with something like this and reduce spillage across all drinks, all sizes, it seems like the bar owner might be interested in that.
And so you're saying the name Martini Mover is limiting. Is that where you're going?
Yes, plus the use case, because if somebody hears Martini Mover, they just think it carries martinis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when someone licenses the product, they can do whatever they want to with it. They can change the name. Frankly, Cocktail Mover was like $2,000. CocktailMover.com was $2,000. MartiniMover.com was like $7. And we go, oh, good. We'll go with this. And it's a deep pockets concept again. Your chicken or the egg concept, right?
Hi, I think it's a great concept.
Thank you.
I was going to say, did you send one to Ellen just for?
I tried.
And then
I got a hold of people that they're bookers, and I sent them the information. And
Okay.
if someone is a marketeer, which I'm not, they would know how to get it in there to where you get it in there, but not turn people off. That's an art and a science right there.
Okay. And secondly, when I look at it, I think of high-end weddings for some reason that have
events, right?
Servers.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't gone there much, but yes, the events are a good question, or a good idea.
Hi. Two things. One, the reason that you have stems on cocktail glasses or wine is because you want to manage the temperature more correctly. So the reason you have stemware and why you can't have a foldable glass to keep the same quality of your product is because you want your stem to be distinct so that your hand doesn't warm the beverage.
Right. Good.
Did you trademark the name Martini Mover? It's $250. I would highly recommend if you're in the licensing field to file a trademark.
Okay. No, I don't think I have. I I have the website. That's kind of changed a little bit now. I mean, if you
No,
have the
no.
website, it still doesn't matter. Okay, all right.
I would,
Okay.
I would change, I would trademark the name so that when you're putting together your licensing packet, talking to companies, you have an intellectual property portfolio to license.
All right.
A company that wants to license from you is going to want a full portfolio.
Okay.
So having those assets and being able to list them is going to provide value back to them.
Okay.
Have you put together your full portfolio of what you're trying to license to someone, including looking at comparables?
No. That's your feedback, and I appreciate it. That's great.
Okay.
Good, thanks.
I would recommend looking at comparables as to how other people have done it in the industry so that when you go talk to someone, you can have that information ready.
Okay.
Because as a licensing play, if you're not ready to license today,
Right.
then they're just going to go to the next one.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
That's what I'm here for. Great feedback.
So he actually brought up what I wanted to bring up already, so you beat me to it. That's all right. So I was curious do you have an actual marketing plan? Like exactly, do you know who your market that you're going to market this to? And the second part of my question is, yeah, just answer that first one first. I'm just curious.
I have a weak marketing plan. I mean, I'm an engineer. That's what I'm looking for. I need input on marketing. At first, it looked like what I wanted to do was get beta sites and get people using them, and it seemed like the key was to get a lot of social media. And so I built up I could build up a database of photos on social media, people having fun, taking pictures of it, and that's what I'm doing right now. I just trying to get soften up the market, show that there's a market, and then hopefully that will soften up the licensing of the patent. And so I kind of have two target markets. One, the user, but really my target market is someone that's going to license a patent, someone that's going to put their own money into marketing and sales.
So you're looking for a partner for operations.
Well, sure. I mean, or a partner being someone that licensed the patent. I mean that could be a partner. But sure, I'm looking for help, and I'm totally open to, completely open to sharing the product with someone.
There can be a challenge a lot of times when you have folks who are the inventor of how do you take it through the entire life cycle of the product. 'Cause you
Right.
have the great concept and how do you implement it to the end point. So in his points there about a whole licensing package, that's very valuable.
Right.
Thinking about your strategy instead of a mass market strategy, what are the 5 steps you need to take before you get from where you are today to mass market acceptance?
Okay.
And so if you looked at who's the top brand that would want to be affiliated with this product, and if I had somebody that was, they do vodka martinis and they want to do a huge promotional push.
Right.
You have a great branding tool here. This is fantastic for being able to put up branding.
Right.
But if you had something like that where you have an exclusive licensing right for a period of time,
Right.
because you're riding their wave of market acceptance because they're going to push the product into the market.
Right.
And then you have incremental growth against that. Here's your exclusive licensing time or whatever exclusive piece you want to give them, but you're helping them get you into the market. And then after that expires, then you have much broader ability to license.
Right.
But you have a couple of steps because typically an alcohol brand is not going to go after this kind of product. They'd have an intermediary that would provide
Right.
it like a promotional.
And that's what I'm piecing together. I think, oh, great, it would do a vodka producer, but that's really not. They want to go click and buy, 1,000 of them. It would work. It would be a great product for if they have a promotional. They go into the bars. Here's month long. You push these numbers. Here's our logo here. At the end of the month, you meet the numbers. You get the Martini mover as a giveaway. And you can physically move the martinis. That's the whole concept. And I could just see a bar owner saying to a servers, okay, we're gonna have a promotional this week or this month on martinis. The first thing is think, well, you can only move one at a time, but with this, yes,
Right.
you could. So it's physically possible to have a program built around vodka and martinis.
Right. And I'm just saying, let them use their marketing dollars
Right.
to drive the exposure to your product,
Right.
instead of the other way around.
Right.
And you would just have to, if you can get both sides working the deal, if you can get your demand gen on the side of your vodka producer,
Uh-huh.
and you can get your supplier infrastructure, the vodka producer demanding it from the supplier infrastructure, and that being a virtuous circle, that
Right.
could be very low cost for you, and
Right.
benefit.
I like that part.
Of course. We'll take just two more. We have one comment, and I think maybe one more question from the audience. So we'll do those two things, and then we'll wrap up for this section of the program, okay?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm aware of a couple of avenues. I don't know how beneficial they might be to you, but there's a Texas Inventors Association. It meets in Plano on a monthly basis, and it's run by a patent attorney, and they share amongst, they network together. There's
Okay.
also a Facebook group called The Invention Factory,
Okay.
and that's run by another patent attorney, and he's also a member of a MIT, DFW MIT, as in Massachusetts Institute of Technology,
Okay.
sort of associated loosely with MIT. But he's also, the patent attorney that runs that Facebook, the Invention Factory, is also a member of the DFW MIT group. And it meets here in Frisco on a monthly basis.
Thank you. Yeah, if I could talk with you afterwards, that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay, this will be our last question.
Great.
We're almost done.
That's
So me being a tech guy, I'm looking at the screens, and my question is how easy it is to configure what's on that screen.
this is just dry erase fluorescent markers. Those are real easy to. I did this morning just with my marker. It's just a dry erase. Now, and of course, this could also be etched in. So yeah, if this is like a giveaway, you could have your logo up here in the corner, and then it stays there, and you could put whatever you want to. Happy birthday, Jane's Table, or something like that. But still have your vodka logo there in the corner that stays with the product.
So you have to get it like professionally etched in, like the one
Y-
part thing you could.
Yeah, but that's real easy. I mean, etching acrylic is easy. There's just a regular old acrylic plate, and you etch it, and it'll look good.
Thank you again for being here and sharing your product. And I know you
Sure.
had another product. If you just want to mention it really quickly, you sent a video to me. Did you want to? I'm assuming that'll be part of your licensing portfolio.
Yeah, it's a sign that looks like it's for hair salons, and I did that in neon years ago, and I've switched it over to LEDs. It looks like scissors, and actually the blades actually physically move, and it tells a story of that this is a salon.
Awesome.
So I'm ready to start selling those.
Connect with Suzanne. It sounds like she had some excellent resources for you, as well as the gentleman here in the light blue shirt on IP licensing. I can help you with licensing as well. That's what I specialize in
Great.
too. So thank you for being here. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.